Today, I'm going to explain two reasons why you might be able to avoid paying a debt due to the passage of time. The first reason is that your unpaid account does not appear on your credit report. The second situation is that the relevant limitation period has expired on your debt. If you watch to the end of this video, then you should have learned whether or not you can avoid paying a debt now or at some future date because of the march of time. Hi, I'm Mark Silverthorn. I hope you enjoyed this video. Today, I'm going to bring you some insights from working as a collection agency lawyer over a 12-year period for some of Canada's largest collection agencies. You may be asking yourself, why have I never heard that it is possible to avoid paying an account due to the passage of time? There are literally thousands of people employed in Canada in what I refer to as the debt relief industry. These firms might offer debt consolidation loans, credit counseling, or debt settlement services. I will also include licensed insolvency trustees who offer consumer proposals and personal bankruptcy. Make no mistake, individuals working for these debt relief providers receive financial compensation if you sign up for a service available through their firm. These individuals, however, do not receive a penny for providing you with information about limitation periods. The information that I am going to provide you with in the remainder of this video is relatively complex. To assist you, I've written an article on the same topic that appears on my firm's website, debtcoachsilverthorn.ca. There is a link to this article in the description. Before we begin, let's identify the category of debts where you cannot take advantage of the passage of time to avoid paying a debt. Monies owing to the government, as well as child support and spousal support. You cannot avoid paying government debts and unpaid support because of the passage of time. You might be able to avoid paying a debt because it does not appear on your credit report. With the exception of Ontario, in Canada, if you have an unpaid account, then under provincial law, it must be removed from your credit report 6 years from the date of your last payment. If you live in Ontario, then provincial law requires that a debt be removed from your credit report 7 years from the date of your last payment. There are two credit reporting agencies in Canada, Equifax Canada and TransUnion. It is the policy of Equifax Canada to remove a debt from an individual's credit report 6 years from the date of their last payment, regardless of the province in which they live. If you live in Ontario, however, and your creditor has reported your account to TransUnion, then it will appear on your credit report for 7 years. Creditors are not required to report accounts in arrears to credit reporting agencies, and some do not do so. For example, small landlords with only a few units may not report to credit reporting agencies. It is possible that a creditor that has not reported your unpaid account to a credit reporting agency might decide to sue you. As a general rule, if you have a debt that does not appear on either your Equifax Canada or TransUnion credit report, then my advice is not to pay or attempt to settle the account. If a debt does not appear on your credit report, then as far as the world is concerned, it does not exist. If your debt does not appear on your credit report, then it will not be a barrier to you obtaining a loan or credit in the future. Furthermore, if you pay or resolve your debt that does not appear on your credit report, then you will not obtain any financial benefit from doing so. Having said that, some of you might want to resolve an account not appearing on your credit report because you feel morally obligated to do so. If you feel that you have obtained some value from watching this video, then I would ask that you hit the like button. Your support means that more people will see this video. The second scenario, where you can avoid paying your unpaid account due to the passage of time, is where the relevant limitation period has expired. Each province and territory in Canada has a law referred to as a statute of limitations. There is a link in the description to an article containing the name of this law for each province and territory. As of December the 4th, 2021, with a few exceptions, the relevant limitation period for Canadians is 2 years. In Quebec, it is 3 years, and it is 6 years in Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, and the 3 territories. I am going to identify those issues that will assist you in determining whether or not a limitation period has expired on your debt. It is helpful to think of a clock as you go through this process of calculating when a limitation period expires. The relevant limitation period is the one for the province in which you live. The next issue is, on what date does the clock on the statute of limitations begin to run on your debt? The clock will begin to run sometime in the 6-month period following the date of your last payment. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, in 2020, some, but not all, provinces suspended the running of limitation periods for 6 to 14 months. There is a link in the description where you can obtain more information about these limitation period suspensions arising due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As a practical matter, if your province suspended the running of limitation periods during the pandemic, then this means it will take longer to reach the date when the limitation period expires on your unpaid account. Now I would like to address the issue of restarting the clock on a limitation period. There are 2 actions that a consumer can take that will restart the clock on a limitation period. If, prior to the expiry of the limitation period on your debt, you make a partial payment on your account, this will restart the clock on the limitation period on your debt. If your goal is to avoid paying a debt due to the expiry of a limitation period, then it is critical that you do not make a partial payment. Furthermore, if prior to the expiry of the limitation period on your debt, you make a written acknowledgement of your debt to your creditor or its authorized collection agent, then this will restart the clock on your limitation period. A verbal acknowledgement of your debt does not restart the clock. Only a written acknowledgement of the debt made prior to the expiry of a limitation period will restart the clock. It is important to understand the significance of the expiry of a limitation period. Your unpaid account does not go poof and magically disappear. Your debt still exists. As a practical matter, however, it is much more difficult for your creditor to recover monies from you once the limitation period on your debt has expired. If your creditor were to sue you after the expiry of the limitation period, all you would have to do is to file a timely defense and plead the expiry of your province's statute of limitations as a full and complete defense, and your creditor's lawsuit would be unsuccessful. Most creditors will not attempt to sue a consumer after the expiry of a limitation period. If you are sued after the expiry of a limitation period and you do not file a timely defense, pleading the expiry of a limitation period as a defense, then your creditor will obtain a default judgment against you. I hope that you have found this video useful. I would invite you to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification button. Your support means that more people will see these videos. A final word about the expiry of a limitation period on your debt and collection calls. As mentioned earlier, when the limitation period on your debt expires, your debt does not disappear. It is simply much more difficult for your creditor to collect your unpaid account. After the expiry of a limitation period on your unpaid account, your creditor and its authorized collection agent can legally make payment demands as well as making collection calls. The only exception is Alberta, where provincial law prohibits collection calls more than 6 years after the date of last payment, unless your creditor has obtained a judgment against you. I am the founder of a firm called Debt Coach Silverthorn. Our website is debtcoachsilverthorn.ca. I would invite you to visit our firm's website. I do offer 30-minute telephone consultations. In November of 2020, the Debt Coach Silverthorn YouTube channel began publishing a minimum of one YouTube short per week on weekdays. Our channel will continue to publish a longer video each Sunday.